Bare Knuckle FC. Yes, we're covering Bare Knuckle FC. BKFC 41. We had a major main event. There it is. We had Platinum Mike Perry versus Luke Rockhold. We had Chad Mendes versus Eddie Alvarez. Ben Rothwell was also in there. We also had Beck Rawling in there. There was a lot of popular names, right?
XUFC, I love how this says all these fighters also featuring David Feldman, president of BKFC,
President.
the one we're all here for.
It's awesome.
We need, you know what we need to do, because we have this studio layout with the gray, the story, the fight, all this stuff is for the UFC, right? It's got the octagon for the logo. We have the gold one for ONE FC when we cover that. We need to just have like some trashy like barbed wire. We need to make a real trashy one for BKFC when we cover it.
Dude, it was a good event though. Nobody jumped into the ring this time. Like no randoms, no fights broke out that were unnecessary fights in the ring. Yeah, it's starting to become a more professional environment.
It's a little bit, Hay bales. Blood Bro says hay bales. Yeah, we gotta get some hay bales on the graphics.
Man. All right. But we had
the background
Perry.
could just be a farm. Or like a liquor store.
A liquor store?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Mike Perry, not Luke Perry.
Luke Perry.
Mike Perry. Did he pass away?
He did, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Rest in peace, Luke Perry.
Mike Perry
killed it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
What'd you think
about Luke Perry in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, Mike Perry versus Luke Rockhold.
Yeah, man. So I went to lunch with my brother. He's remodeling and stuff, so he's got no drywall up. So I was helping him run speaker wire for a 7-channel. So he'll be sick. So then we got lunch and everything, or dinner, early dinner, and also shout out the parish in Santa Cruz. Walk in, they got ONE FC on one of the TVs. I was like, what is happening?
For real?
Yeah. Shout out Rug. And actually, it was Eddie Alvarez versus Oak Rayon. So whatever. I was telling him, I was like, dude, Mike Perry's a dog. He's built for bare knuckle boxing. Luke Rockhold is a model, and he is not built for bare knuckle boxing. He is not a dog. And look, if I were in Luke's position when he gave up in this fight, I would have given up way before that. But it's exactly it was basically that. You think if Mike Perry breaks all his teeth in a bare knuckle fight, you think he's gonna quit?
He's gonna spit him out, dude.
He's gonna spit him into
kick
your
him
face
out of the
and start hitting
squared circle.
Yeah, it's just there's a difference, man. Luke Rockhold is very clean. He's very like the way he strikes. He had a perfect skill set for MMA striking. While you're out, he'll throw that lead question mark kick. You get a little bit closer, here's the left body kick. If you get a little bit closer, bam, left straight, right down the pipe. If you get a little bit closer, check right hook, I'm gone. So he's got a strike for every single position as you enter. People ended up realizing that, and hey, Luke, you got to change that. But you know what doesn't help him? He's got 4 weapons. If you take away 2 of them, he's got 2 weapons. And he landed both of them. He landed that check. Look, he's trying to throw the check right hook right there. He landed the left straight, and he hurt Mike Perry early in that first round. Mike Perry said, I don't give a fuck. Spit some teeth out. And then he comes back, and he hurts Luke Rockhold. And the difference in demeanor from when Mike Perry got hurt in the first round to when Luke got caught in the first round was very telling. Very telling.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? Going into this, like I finished watching, the UFC fights that we're going to cover. And then my wife's like, what are you putting on now? And I told her bare knuckle fighting. She's like, who's fighting? I told her Mike Perry, and she's like, Platinum Mike Perry? Hey. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, who's he fighting? And I said, Luke Rockhold. And she said, wait,
the model?
Luke Rockhold? Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, but is this exactly what she said? She doesn't watch very much fighting anymore. She says, I ruined UFC for him fighting because that's all I watch. Yeah. But she's like, she was like, but isn't this like perfect for Mike Perry? And I was like, yes, it is. This is the perfect sport for Mike Perry. He is the poster child. He is the face of the franchise. Whatever you want to name it, Mike Perry is BKFC. It's perfect for him, man. He gets going, when it gets the toughest, when he's hurt, like he likes it. And he
That's when
even
he
said
bites
in an
down.
interview, he's like, I like this stuff, man.
Yeah.
I like it. You're in trouble, Luke, because this is what I enjoy. I like getting in fights.
Yeah.
And he shows it, dude. And so with Luke Rockhold, you're absolutely right. You know, he catches Perry with the big left. He gets Perry a little wobbled. He tries to go in for the finish. And then he tries to blitz in again. And you have Perry that throws a really stiff jab and wobbles Rockhold off a stiff jab. And after that, man, it was not the same.
No. And Blunderbub says the girlfriend watches some bare knuckle, but I really haven't given it any time. Am I missing out? Not really.
Depending on the event. Depending on the event.
It really depends. It really depends. They've had some actually legitimate great fights. Johnny Bedford versus Dat Win was incredible. That was a fantastic fight. Every once in a while, it lines up for them. Most of the time, it doesn't.
Paige Van Zandt versus Rachel Ostovich? Fantastic.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, but look, I will say this. Look, there's something for everyone. You know what I mean? And this sport could be a little brutal. It seems more violent than others because of the no gloves, the cuts and stuff like this. If you like kind of just events that are pure entertainment, man, like Will, which one was it? We were watching and that random fan hops in the ring and starts trying to throw blows. And
this is what you can expect at a bare knuckle fight. It didn't happen in this event, but man, once the fight's over, if it's a female fight, you got girls running in the cage throwing drinks on people. Sometimes you got a rapper jumping in there and throwing blows at somebody. Like it's chaos.
And that's why like you just don't know what's gonna happen.
Feldman's just like the Dana White of the organization, right? And he'll be in there and at the end of the fight, and he's like looking around. He looks like he's just going through the motions in there. It's hilarious. It is 100% just the trashiest thing in the world. But every once in a while, the stars align and they have a legitimate great fight. And you're like, what is happening?
Blunderbuff says she watches it because of the blood. Hey, can you have your girlfriend join us in the chat, please? That'd be fantastic. Because we would love to talk bare knuckle fighting with her as well. But you're absolutely right, man. Sometimes you just find those people that are still technical, that have been in the fight game for a long time, that aren't just brawlers, that it looks like they're legitimately boxing in there. They just don't happen to have any gloves on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then there's some that are just completely terrible. But that's okay too. They can't all win. But this fight specifically, Mike Perry versus Luke Rockhold, it ended pretty early because there was one shot that Mike Perry landed, and immediately you see Rook's whole demeanor change, and it looked like, why did I sign up for this?
I think it was the picture right before this. Rich, can you go back to the picture right before this?
They were up on the ropes.
I think it was, yeah.
It could have been. Mike lands a big shot. Luke stands straight up like he's not in a fight anymore. They clinch, and Luke just looks like, damn it, this should just happen. I shouldn't have done this. And he looks at the ref and he's like, my teeth. It's like, hey, man, you're fighting bare knuckle boxing.
And then Mergliotta's like, what? And he pulls his mouthpiece out and he like points at it again. He's like, dude, my teeth. And
my teeth are broken. And I am a model.
The look of frustration on Mergliotta's face.
I know.
When he waved it off. I was like, Mergliotta, look, dude, I get it. All right. Our dude essentially tapped, gave up strikes, whatever. But for you to be like, roll your eyes, give that smirk, wave the hands off, you're like, Mergliotta in his head thinking, this little bitch.
Yeah.
And he just waved it off and turned around. But dude, Mike Perry, extremely entertaining. I don't want to see him in any other organization other than BKFC. And yes, warning.
Yeah, there's the
thanks for the warning, Rich, as you put up the picture. Like you put up the picture right away, you're like, hey, warning. Graphic content. But can you zoom in at all? I don't know if you can zoom in, but there's two of his front teeth that you could see have been rearranged completely.
Yep. Yeah, not good.
No, not good.
If there was a screenshot of this, it's perfect. This guy with his teeth fucked up, and this comment of BK, the trash pile is so large, the pressure sometimes create diamonds. Got it.
Yes.
Basically. Every once in a while, you get a diamond in there.
Yes,
Most of the time it's just
absolutely.
trash.
Man, in my eyes, though. Oh, also before we move on, Conor McGregor being there, being called into the
So,
octagon. The one thing I will give Feldman props on. I don't know if you noticed. There's a few times that he looked over to the security guard and asked him to get McGregor out of there.
oh really?
Yes, there's
He's
two
like, I know
times,
Mike Perry. I
and
know him personally.
well, I think that, and I think part of it's also like, hey, like he's not a part of the organization.
True. Yeah.
We're giving the UFC free promotion right now. Whatever, right? But also that's going to bring
This was
extra
big
eyes
for
to the
them.
BKFC.
This was big for them. There was a
And
lot of buzz on this card after this because of Conor getting in the ring, doing the face off with Mike Perry, holding the fucking BKFC belt. Like, what is happening?
yeah, it's so funny though. So you see, like Connor's talking, and then you see Feldman look over at the security guard and like reaches over for Connor and tells the security guard like, "Hey, come get him." And then Connor's like, "BKFC's doing it right. This is a great organization." And Feldman's like, "Hold on, just a second. Give the man a chance to speak."
Yeah.
And then Connor
Let him
goes off, and
talk.
then Feldman's like clapping, and then he's like, "All right, get him out of here." Like he
Yeah.
got him out of here. It's so funny, dude. I love it. I
But
absolutely
yeah,
love it.
that was great. That was great having Connor there. He shows up, he gets in the ring. He doesn't seem all coked out. They do the face off, and you can hear Mike Perry in the face off. He's like, they're not like even acting mad. Mike Perry just wanted a face off with him, and
He's like, "Hey, man, I really respect you and what you've done for the
he's
sport."
like, man, he's like, we both fought Cowboy. Cowboy took my arm. He broke my arm. And then Connor's like, and what did I do to him? And Mike Perry, and it's like, what is happening? So
So
funny.
funny, dude. So
Meanwhile,
funny.
Cowboy's in the crowd.
But Blunderbub, this is part of what I love about BKFC is that you just don't know what's going to happen even after the fight. It's
Yeah.
so much fun.
If
The
you had
drama.
if you had Conor McGregor walks into the ring with a BKFC belt on and faces off with Mike Perry after this fight on your bingo card, like, come on, it's chaos. Hey, shout out K9, that's my boy. Want to see some broken
K9.
orbital bones, or I'm demanding a refund. But what about pretty boy Luke Rockhold spitting out some teeth?
I mean, I'll take that.
I'll take
I'll
that.
take that. Hey, look, Will, I'm going to go on a limb right now and say that I was more entertained last night by the co-main event and the main event of BKFC than I was by anything other than the main event of the UFC. The main event I thought was so good. Song Yadong, showcase, masterful performance.
Put some respect on Marcus McGee though.
Oh, Marcus McGee was pretty good too. That's right. That's right.
But
I'll
that's
give you
about
that
it.
one. That's about it.
But
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
All right. We also had a couple of legends.
And this was
Eddie
a legitimate
Alvarez.
great fight.
Yes. I told you, remember? I
Yeah,
said,
this was
hey,
good.
this was a technical fight with a lot of violence, but you had Eddie
Yeah.
Alvarez versus Chad Mendes. So, Chad Mendes, dude, I've always been a big fan. Big Team Alpha Male guy back in the heyday, right? When they're at their
Yeah.
peak.
What a great picture.
Chad Mendes and all his psoariasis medicine getting all jacked and
Psoriasis
just
medicine.
going off on people. And this is what I remember Chad Mendes for. Stocky, great head movement, crisp boxing, great wrestler. But he had the same move that he had in the UFC for the longest time, and it's still working for your boy out there.
Yeah,
He has the duck under right, duck under left, and he's coming back up. He throws that left hook, and it landed multiple times yesterday on Eddie Alvarez, dude. It was like nostalgic for me.
But you know
watching
what
Chad
Eddie
Mendes
had?
doing that.
The
He
classic
had that
Eddie
dog in
uppercuts.
him. He had that dog in him. Is
He had-
that
yeah.
what you're gonna say?
I love Eddie Alvarez, man. I
So do
do.
I.
I think he's so cool. He had a great. He's had. How many guys have multiple great careers? You know what I mean? Hey, shout out
Yeah.
Blunder. How many guys have multiple great careers? He had a great career in Bellator. He became a
Mhm.
UFC champ. He had a
Mhm.
not a great run in ONE FC, I'll be honest.
Not so much.
But then here he is. What is he, like 39 years old, 40 years old? He comes out here and puts on a straight up dogfight. Gets dropped in what, the second round?
Dropped in the second.
Drops
Back
Mendes
in
in
the
the third.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
drops him in the fifth. I mean, he put it on him in the fifth round to the point where that those shots that he landed on Mendes in the fifth round, I was like, it's a wrap. Once he smelt the blood of Mendes starting to slow down, start to cover up, you see that classic Eddie Alvarez, those clean uppercuts, the hooks. I mean, just great combos that just puts him down. But then Mendes comes back from the knockdown and then drops Eddie right after with like 5 seconds left in the fight. It was crazy. And you see Conor going nuts in the crowd. He beat both these guys. And I don't know if you noticed it, the commentary didn't notice it, but Conor's front row, everybody's sitting, Conor's standing the whole fight, and he's yelling instructions to Eddie the whole time. And there's a point where Mendes is on the ropes, Conor's right behind him, and Conor's yelling, uppercut, uppercut. And Eddie throws the uppercut, hits him with it clean. Mendes circles out. Alvarez points over to Conor. The commentary was like, oh, some showmanship from Eddie, pointing where he thought Mendes was going to go. It's like, no. He's pointing to Conor because Conor just yelled out the uppercut.
That's so
threw
sick,
it, and it landed. It was sick, dude. It was just
That's
a
so
really
sick.
cool moment, you know? And what a back and forth great fight.
He is 39, by the way.
He's 40 years old.
He is 39.
Yeah.
He is 39. I looked for the picture of me and Eddie Alvarez at the airport. Couldn't find it.
Yeah. Couldn't find it. Probably for the better.
Dude, but think about the absolute dog fights this guy's been in, man.
Yeah.
The wars.
Look at him.
I
mean, just a fantastic fight all around. It was just a great fight. You got to give him credit,
man.
you know?
But I can't. We can't do it justice. The excitement in that fight in that fifth round.
It was nuts. That was
going back and forth,
crazy.
Right? Yeah. He drops Chad with, I think it was like 14 seconds left.
Yeah,
like not.
Like, that's a wrap.
Comes back
that's a stamp on the
count.
fight. Yeah.
And then Chad comes back, just boom, throwing blows, and he drops Eddie, and they're like, "Oh my god, what would have been a 10-8 round for Eddie Alvarez?"
He just saved himself.
Now, what is it like? Oh my god, it was just such an exciting fight, man.
It was good.
It was really good. This is one of those moments where, again, sometimes find yourself a diamond in there, dude. And this was a diamond. And they're like, they went back and they're like, hey, Luke Rockhold versus Mike Perry. This is going to go down as one of the best fights in history. Look, I know that we got a couple of big names.
Yeah.
But, dude, you can't say that after you just saw Eddie Alvarez versus Chad Mendes. You had everything in this fight.
You really did.
It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was great. It was just a legitimately great fight.
Shout out Ben Rothwell as well. Got a victory last night. Was it as technical as this one? No. But, your boy fought his heart out. A lot of clinching, just over the neck and just straight uppercuts.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
So this is not on Fight Pass. And I think Dana probably wishes it was. I think hey, Omar, shout out Omar, says everything but Eddie's wife yelling. Once the fight started and I heard Eddie's wife yell Eddie all crazy, I was like, it was just nostalgic for me. I was like, this is an Eddie Alvarez fight now, and you can hear the whole fight. Just screaming.
I love it. Yeah, my wife pointed that out too. She's like, you hear that person that just keeps on yelling? I was like, yeah, that's his wife.
That person. That's
so funny.
The Alvarez Banshee. What a legend. It's like mythology at this point. But
who else
also shout out Chris Camozzi, the boy Chris Camozzi, Story of the Fight alum. He's been on the show.
Yes,
he got a finish, and you can tell he's been antsy to get back in there. He's been calling out, hey, when is this happening? When's this happening? Like, I'm trying to get back on there. He gets a knockout. He looked fantastic. Same thing, that single collar tie. That's the move, right? In bare knuckle boxing, that is absolutely the move, because with your fingers open like that, you can really get that single collar tie, and you can't do that with boxing gloves, really. But you can get that grip and just start blasting uppercuts. And another thing that was interesting to see with Eddie Alvarez versus Mendes is the two different approaches to defense in bare knuckle, because it is a different approach. And you see Eddie close fist the whole time, and he's using head movement. Eddie head movement. Chad Mendes, open hands. I'm trying to parry this shit.
Yep.
But neither seemed to work that well. They both were getting crap. No, they both had pretty good defense.
But it made for an entertaining fight. It was so much fun, dude. Honestly, again, when you take a look at Johnny Bedford and that win, that was another technical, exciting fight. This reminded me of that a lot, but with bigger boys, harder shots. It was just so much fun.
Legitimately,
you gotta find
a
yourself
really
a woman that cheers for you, like Eddie Alvarez's wife cheers for him.
Yeah,
couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. Hey everybody, Romero and Will here. Thank you so much for watching that short clip. It's just a small clip of what we covered this last Sunday.
Yeah, if you want to check out the full fight card recap, the link is in the description, and it's going to be on screen at the end here. And don't forget to go back and watch our fighter interviews that we have. And don't forget to tune in live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you can join in on the fun.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It goes a long way. All right, everybody, thanks for watching that short clip from Story of the Fight.